Welcome everyone to this live transmission in One Heart. This time I'm speaking from India, from my home in Himalayas. Hopefully the internet will hold. It's India. For instance, now electricity is out. I'm using generator. Okay, I'm checking now internet connection. It appears that as the teaching is changing, it will become increasingly more based on transmissions and less on words. Less on explanations. Explanations will be there, just less. And more transmission, and transmissions will become stronger and stronger. At this point, I am channeling, meaning these transmissions are from me, but I am also channeling Shiva, Kuan Yin, Human, and Divine Mother, which just recently came to our teaching. You will receive email explaining the presence of different deities in this teaching, so it will become more clear. In the future there will be less channeling, eventually no channeling, but at this point we need that help. And we are lucky, we are graced with receiving it, we are blessed. Because we are not alone, they care about us, they care about you, they care about this planet, they care about our evolution. Because we are part of God that is supposed to evolve towards light. We are God who is evolving towards Himself. You might think that you are insignificant, that it's just that you are just evolving from your personal standpoint, which is true on one level, but on the another level, you are part of a bigger whole. Through your evolution, you are supporting evolution of this planet, collective consciousness, and you are supporting evolution of God Himself, because He does evolve through us. Why it is called transmission in one heart? Because we are together and we are one heart. And that's a fact. So this transmission is based on the principle of oneness of all of us, togetherness. Your heart is my heart. My heart is the heart of Human. Human's heart is the heart of Shiva. Shiva's heart is the heart of the divine. Divine's heart is the heart of God. God's heart is the heart of the beyond, which is prior to God. And the heart of the beyond is the heart of the primordial I am, which is the original source of creation. But the heart of the primordial I am is your heart. It is one heart. You are me. When I see you, now I just feel you, not see you literally, but often I do. When I look at you, I see myself looking back at me from different angle. It requires a particular way of looking and particular way of seeing to be able to see the other person as oneself. I call it awakening to you. When you look at me, can you see you? Can you see yourself looking back at you as this teacher that I am? Because that's the truth. God is reflecting himself in countless myriads of mirrors, and each of these reflections is different, but each of these reflections is him. But the thing is, in order to be able to see the other person as oneself, one has to have love. But not the kind of love that you extend to other person, such as I love you personally, I choose you to love you, I've chosen to love you, I feel connection with you. No, it is pure love. Pure love is not a love of exchange. It is a love that encompasses everything. Awakening of pure love is really important. It's crucial. This is why in the last retreat, Shiva wanted everyone to experience pure love before the retreat ends. For those who did not follow the retreat, I can explain in few words what it is. First, one has to awaken the originating love, or rather activate the originating love through absorption in the spiritual heart, and through the Tantien, we call it sacred Tantien, which is in the heart, to merge with the I am of the divine, and that activates originating love, which then emanates through our heart, creates a field of love that encompasses our heart, encompasses our body, and then emanates into everything that we see. The further development of pure love is realization of the boundless love, which is like an ocean everywhere. There's also such a thing as divine love, which is a higher level of love, but let's for now be satisfied with pure love, because realization of it is challenging. even after the retreat or during retreat, I kind of doubted that how many students activated the originating love, because that absorption in the sacred Tantian in the heart is not easy. There is such a thing as sense of orientation in the heart. When people are disorientated, they cannot separate the spiritual heart from the human heart, for instance. This is why recently I started to rely more on transmission, in transmitting pure love, rather than students going through all that challenging practice. But pure love cannot be transmitted unless the heart is already awakened to a great degree. Heart is really mysterious, It's not like pure consciousness or universal subjectivity, realization of which is pretty straightforward. It's also challenging, but once you get there, it's pretty simple. Heart, awakening of the heart, there are so many levels. There are 3 hearts: spiritual, human, and celestial, which is the upper heart. That's one thing. But the awakening of the heart itself, you think you have awakened it, and maybe you have, but then you can awaken it more. And more, and more. A new energy enters your heart, because as you awaken it, there's also always that eternal transmission, not always, but for those who are dedicated to their hearts, evolution of their heart, there's this transmission going on from the beyond, from the divine, which is bringing new energy, which makes your heart being experienced completely differently. More bliss, more beauty, more divinity. The frequency of the energy of the heart completely changes, and your relationship with the heart deepens. There's more love, more love, and more love, and more love. So do not think that it is a simplistic process, that you just awaken the heart and that's it. Awakening of your heart, or what you consider awakening of the heart, is actually the beginning of its further awakening. And we don't have yet map for it, because it's so mysterious, intangible. Awakening of the heart, indeed, I can assure you, has no end. There's no end to love. There's no end to the evolution of love. So we are just beginning here. Something very, very important. One thing is certain: all students eventually have to realize pure love, and eventually, a bit later, divine love. Divine love is just the higher frequency of pure love. More you could say overwhelming, more otherworldly, more transcendent, more ecstatic. By the way, in this live, live transmission, it's good that you keep your eyes open. You look at me if you want to. Closing eyes is a good thing, important, but there's also some kind of escape in it. This is why we have begun the process of healing and confronting our human truth, because students have been prone to use all these inner states of pure subjectivity as spiritual bypass to escape the human reality. And now we are not escaping. Additionally, opening your eyes helps the flow of transmission, because we are connected. You look at me, I look at you. In this case, I look at you through feeling rather than seeing you, but still I'm looking at you. During this talk, be in your heart. In fact, always be in your heart. In fact, for all of you, heart should be the main place in your existence until it fully awakens. Until it explodes with love. Now, there's also a matter of healing of the heart. Because when the heart is not healed, you cannot enter it as deep as you should. Or sometimes you cannot enter it at all when the heart is emotionally blocked, when the heart has resistance, and the heart is fearful. That fearfulness I call false vulnerability. So you need to heal. We have already begun the process of healing of the heart and of the mind. And what you need to heal are the main obstructions, main fear, main pain, something that is really blocking your entry into the heart. When it is done, the healing still needs to continue, but it is not in contradiction, or not, it doesn't interfere with you experiencing love. So you can have pain, still some pain, but you can still already experience love. You can already begin the positive evolution of your heart. So feel your heart, feel your pain, feel your resistance to love. Feel your vulnerability. We want to dissolve pain. That pain is from the past. That pain is a combination of emotions, thoughts, and energy. Emotions and thoughts because these emotions are always linked to a thought that are contained in the energy state, which is then transferred into your heart, into your solar plexus sometimes, or into your body, different places, and just stays there. And the reason that it stays there is because it was not experienced before fully. So it could not be released. And now you have to experience it fully. You need to go to the root of it so that it can be freed and that energy can open and flow through your body rather than being stuck there as an emotional block, energetic block. The first thing about healing, very important, is your relationship with your pain. If you are just rushing to dissolve your pain and seeing pain as something bad, something that is, for instance, standing in your way to love, which it is initially, indeed, then your relationship with pain is wrong. Your relationship with your pain has to be positive. Meaning you need to relate with love to your pain. Pain is not bad. Pain is a doorway to emotional depth, and it is a doorway to love. Without pain, there's no love. When you go to the bottom of your pain, to this very end of it, where it is agonizing, this is where you move into love. Only those who experience deep pain can love. It's not that this pain should stay. It will be dissolved, but in a positive way, by embracing it, by experiencing it to its very depth. In other words, you need to appreciate your pain. You need to see it as your friend, as a, like, imagine you have this, well, it's not imagination, it's true, that there's this child inside your heart, which is you, that is in pain. What do you want to do? You want to just eliminate it? No, you want to make this child feel well. You want to make this child feel that it is loved, it is cared for. And then the child becomes released from this pain because it receives love. And love is the ultimate healing. No matter what extraordinary therapeutical means you are using, at the end it is love that is healing pain. In the title of this live transmission is vulnerability, the path of vulnerability. Very important too, because healing to a large degree, large extent, is actually a path of vulnerability. What vulnerability means? The definition is a state of being where one is exposed to the possibility of becoming hurt or attacked. So that is that negative side of healing, vulnerability, where there's this fear of getting hurt. And as a response to this fear, we are closing our heart, because we are protecting ourselves, we are creating shields. Also in the mind, by the way, because it's connected. Heart and mind are connected. People are so self-conscious, hold so desperately to their self-image, to their good opinion of themselves, and what not is because they're vulnerable, they're afraid. So this is how they protect themselves. But in the heart, you protect yourself energetically and emotionally. You are basically closing it. And the heart which is closed, the heart which is protecting itself cannot love. Impossible. So in order to love, we need to drop our defenses. And we need to allow ourselves to be vulnerable. Just like a baby is vulnerable. But you see, baby is vulnerable, but everybody takes care of it. In a similar way, when you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you are being taken care of. When you protect yourself, it's only you who is taking care of yourself. When you don't protect yourself, the whole universe takes care of you. Because it sees your heart, sees your vulnerable heart, your open, pure, beautiful heart, open to everything. You are being seen, your heart is being seen, and you are being taken care of. Vulnerability is something very beautiful. If you just allow yourself to be vulnerable. Vulnerability is actually, similar like pain, the doorway to love. When you become like fully vulnerable, in the sense that you don't have any defenses, you open up fully, you actually begin to experience love. That is love. And because you don't protect yourself, so your heart is not shielded, so you're open actually to everything. You're open to the whole world. There's no longer that separation and that artificial boundary between you and others. And as I said before, it's not just about having personal love to someone. It's about seeing others. It's about awakening to you, awakening to the other person. The other person is actually you. They are the same as you. They are living in separate bodies. They have their own individuality. So there's also that truth, a truth of certain relative separation, that we are different on one level, but on another level we are not different. We are the same. We are one. And that is extremely important to realize. When you, let's say you because we are so isolated, right? Everybody lives in this island called I, called me. So we are trying to reach to others desperately through internet, social media, through having friends, and through loving other people, like in a personal way, whether it is a friend or a relationship. This is creating a bridge, right? So you are not so alone anymore. You are not so isolated. But the thing is, even if you love other person really deeply, they are still outside of you. So there's a pain in that love, you see? Pain. It's painful. Love is painful in the sense that gives you a sense of unity with the other person, but is not being able to dissolve that sense of separation. You're still separated. Still the other person. Still someone outside of you. But in pure love, there's no separation. You are no longer isolated. This is why pure love, the realization of pure love, is the only way to transcend separation and to see that all these people are different parts of yourself. They are on some level outside of you, but on another level they are you. They're parts of you. They're different reflections of you, looking back at you. And what can be more beautiful than the realization of that? It is liberation. See, liberation is not just entering absolute or transcend or universal consciousness. Liberation is actually, the deepest liberation is in love. Well, you're not going anywhere. You're not going to some beyond, some samadhi that you are just, you close your eyes and you disappear. That is not liberation. That is suspension, running away. Liberation is here, being here. Liberation is through love. Let love liberate you. Remember, pure love is a love, not love of exchange. It's not even love for the divine. Of course, it's not love for the divine, because it is divine. Please devote yourself to awakening of your heart. This is what Shiva wants, Human wants, what I want, and what you want, what we want, because we are here together and we are one. Your heart is my heart. When your heart is not awakened, it means that my heart is not awakened. Because you are part of me. Coming back to vulnerability, really drop your shields. And have courage. Like jumping from a cliff and letting God hold you. Because He will. And don't be afraid, don't be vulnerable in a sense that you are afraid to feel your pain. That is the false vulnerability, the negative side of vulnerability. That you don't, it's too painful, you prefer not to go there. You need to have a courage to experience your pain. You need to, with absolute honesty. The more it hurts, the deeper, when you go, the deeper will be your transformation. People hold into pain, into their sadness, into their despair, into their sense of loss, into their grief. They don't see why this grief is there in the first place, why this pain is there in the first place, why it exists in your heart, not as some kind of a punishment, It exists for your transformation. It exists to allow you to realize love. You need to have a knowledge about yourself, what we call the human truth, your human truth. In this case, you need to really be aware where you are resisting love, where you are holding, where you are creating those shields, where you are protecting yourself, where you are protecting your vulnerability. And you see, that's a funny thing. Vulnerability does not want to be protected. Vulnerability want to expose itself, want to come out. It lives in this dark little room inside your heart for so many years, your vulnerability. It's getting suffocated there. Let it out. Stop protecting it. Open the door. So you need to be mindful of this, how you are protecting your heart, how you are protecting your sensitivity, your vulnerability, and you need to drop it. Keep dropping it until there is no more, until your heart is completely exposed. And if you are afraid, oh, the world will hurt me, there are so many bad people there, bad energies, you are wrong. Your heart is strong. It does not need protection. Your heart is divine. It is the heart of giving, not self-protecting. Giving love, divine love, to this whole world. Your heart is the gateway for the divine to give love to others, to everything, to all, and to be love, because this is what you are supposed to become. You are supposed to become love. Soon you will, all of you, all of you, meaning those who want to become love and who are dedicated, who surrendered to this path, who surrendered to Shiva, to God. If you don't know who Shiva is, and so forth, it all sounds even strange, which it is not. So just say God, God. Because Shiva is extension of God. So God, you surrender to God. So all of you who are true to themselves and who from their hearts surrender to this path, they will become love very soon. Because this teaching, me, everything here is getting more and more accelerated and powerful. It's just a beginning. We are coming closer and closer to the sun of creation. Soon we will be inside the sun. This teaching will be inside. I spoke about the fact that Shiva, Human, want to bring higher consciousness to this planet, higher love, love that was unheard of, love not of this world, not of this earth. And it is done, it will be done through me and through you. But it is not about having large following, many people, 1,000 people, thousands, whatever. No. It's not about the number, it's about, there has to be a certain number of souls, but it's about bringing that consciousness through those souls and me into the collective consciousness, because this is what we want to transform. It's a collective consciousness at the root of it. When this is transformed, everything which is unseen, by the way, because no one is actually aware of the collective consciousness, because it's unconscious, collective consciousness which is actually unconscious. So when that changes, what is on the surface, which is the conscious part, will also change. Usually people try to change the conscious part, appealing to the conscious part, to the mind of people, for instance. Has very limited results. The collective consciousness will be changed, human consciousness, from the root, from its unconscious. Yeah. So this is what we are doing. So allow yourself to be vulnerable, okay? Fully. You have nothing to lose. No one will hurt you. Become innocent again. Your heart has to become innocent. Change your relationship with your pain too. Your pain is beautiful because there is beauty in pain, this kind of emotional pain in the heart. There is no doubt about that. And there's depth in it. And as I said, if you really experience it fully, it will become love. The reason pain is so disturbing and so sabotages everything is because we are not experiencing it fully. We are pushing it away into a corner, into the unconscious. Or even when we experience it just from a distance. Oh, I feel pain in my heart. It's not enough. You need to become that pain. You need to go to the core of it. You need to totally experience it from inside of the pain, not from outside, not from the observer. And then you will see. Your pain is not your enemy, it's an opportunity. It's an invitation to love. When you stop being so protective, when you expose your heart, when you allow yourself to be fully vulnerable, you will feel so free. So free. And for the first time you will understand what love is. What you experienced love before, no matter how deep it was, It was actually a painful attempt to reach out, to identify with another, with someone else. But you're reaching out from that place where you're still blocked through your resistance. That's not real love. It's a desperation coming from your loneliness, because you're so lonely, so lonely. But you are not lonely. You are not alone. The divine is always with you. But you can experience it only fully when you stop protecting yourself. You drop your shields. Sometimes people, they have this romantic love where, they drop their protections. They allow themselves to surrender to another person. And then they get hurt because, nothing lasts forever. They get hurt and they close their heart even more, saying, oh, I have allowed myself to be vulnerable again. What a mistake. I will never open to love again. The thing is that they did not really drop their self-protectiveness when they allow themselves to fall in love, in this case. They kind of bypass it. In order to experience this intense love with another person, they bypass their protection. But the protection is still there, was still there. So this is not the case of dropping protection, really. It's a case of bypassing protection. You must not be afraid of getting hurt. That's part of this dropping defenses in your heart. And if you have, let's say, certain personal connections with other people, other such as different kinds of love are involved, romantic love, for instance, you can get hurt, sure. But so what? Is it bad? You get hurt. You experience that hurt fully, because this time you will not be pushing it into the unconscious, and it will go. It will be released. Never protect your heart. Protecting your heart is a way of scared people, cowards, those who prefer to live in isolation. In order to protect themselves rather than to love. Love is bigger than you. Love is all. So now when you are looking at me, can you see that what you see is you? Like, look carefully. Look carefully at me. Can you see that it is you? Looking back at yourself. Because it is you. And it is all one. We are one heart, one love. We are one God that is talking to himself, teaching himself, experiencing different parts of himself, evolving, healing, and awakening love.